game I'm going to investigate is We the Jury. It's a game where you act as a member of the jury. Let me just mute the sound here. It does have enticing music. We're going to play a new game. And we're going to work on the jury for Pizza Trio versus Taco Trio. They have a variety of different ones to choose from. They also have a tutorial that you can decide yes or no if you want to take part on. I'm going to say yes. It just helps you, gives you a little bit of prompt. And so then you get to pick which jury you are. I'm going to pick this juror right here. And then notice again the sound. It doesn't read it to you. You do have to read it yourself. And so the judge walks us through the case. I have played this one before, so I'm going to go just a little bit quicker to keep the video short. So we have to try and decide whether the two names are too close together or if Taco Trio needs to change their name because it's too close to Pizza Trio. The judge walks us through everything we'll have. Then we somehow lose our notes out the window because it's windy. So that takes us to the juror room. And we'll have 5 days, and I'll kind of speed through them, to convince everyone to vote the same way. We have to have someone completely the same. And there's a little clock on the wall you can see over here that keeps track of the time. So you have a certain time in the day. You can speed that up by clicking on the end day. And then again, it helps us with little tips on the screen. And then on the table, we'll be able to have different evidence. And as we talk to our fellow jurors, they'll present evidence, or as the days go by, new evidence is reported to us. And so I'll just walk you through that a little bit. It pulls up a little help menu, tells us what it is. So like, for example, we don't get to physically see the menus, but it tells us that Pizza Trio sells Italian food and Taco Trio sells Mexican food. And then this photo, we don't get to see the photo, but it says both restaurants have the name Trio, much bigger than the word pizzeria or taco. And then you can hover over each individual juror and see what their first initial thought is. And so this guy says no, this lady's not sure. This says yes, yes, no. And so when I played this previously, I was on the no component. And so I went around and talked to everyone. I even talked to the people with no and just confirmed that I agreed with them. And so I could gain more evidence. Because there's enough room for 9 to 12 pieces of evidence on the table. And then you rate the evidence based on the validity, how it causes the people to sway your way. And so I'm going to click on this not sure juror, and she's going to talk to us, and she says the two restaurants' names look the same. And so I can click on evidence while I'm talking to her and discuss it, and it'll come up with things that I can say to her. And if it's not the correct evidence to sway them, they'll give you kind of some strange answers. So, like, for example, the second text bubble here, it says what's better, Italian or Mexican food. That let's vote. You're only going to confuse the juror even more. And so if you decide, oh wait, that's not the one I want to use, then you just say, oh wait, never mind. And it kind of dismisses them. So when we first talk to her, we can try this picture. So this one says that the first word's pizza and the other is taco, and explains that it's not the same. And so we're going to click on that and say that to her. She says, good point. And then we click to close, and then you'll notice her thing changed, and she had new evidence in her notes that, remember, ours flew out the window. And so we get, you just say thanks, and she goes back to the table, and then you can click on someone else. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the day here. And it brings out, and we get to vote. So we're going to decide yes or no. Like I said, I've previously done this one, so I'm just going to keep my same consensus and say no. And then down here at the bottom, different pieces of evidence, and you rate them. You want to rate 3 pieces of evidence. And right now, obviously, I only have 3. And so I'm going to rate them. And this trademark application will come in handy, so I'm going to put that star. So it goes around and has everyone vote and puts their little coin on whether or not. And again, it has to be unanimous. So we can't, we're not at a unanimous decision, so we have to continue another day. Then you rank the evidence, and again, it'll tell you what it is. And so the trademark application, originally they're like, nah, too similar, but then they reversed their decision. So the fact that the Patent and Trademark Office reversed their decision, that could be very helpful to Taco Trio. And so I'm going to list that as a moderate for the defendant, because the defendant is the taco shop. And so I really like that it uses the vocabulary of the actual law. And we got to rate the rest of our apps, the rest of our evidence. I'm going to put the restaurant menus as mild, because although it's obviously describes that they're different. And then this one says that Trio is but much bigger in both of them. So that really probably phases more towards the plaintiff side. So I'm going to put that over there. And again, the next day comes. We can go back at this point in time. It'll tell us more exactly everything we have, or we can go back to the deliberation room, where again we'd go through each one. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, and I'm going to create another short video about the end of the day, just so you don't have to watch the extra days. Okay, so at this point we've all voted no, and we're not in violation. So then we get our results. It tells us we've had it in 3 days, how many people we conversed with, how many pieces of evidence we used. We also got points for early agreement, and then a verdict was reached. And it gives us a certificate, tells us how long we played. So this is something obviously you could have your students print or screenshot if you wanted to. But then it takes you back to the main menu. Alright, thank you. Bye.